Now that you have seen an example on defining a class for car, let's go back to take a look at the general structure of a class declaration. When we try to create a new class in Bourgeois, this is what you will see. There's a pop-up window that asks for a class name. Let's say we want to name the class to be created new class. After you have provided a name for the class, you will see a template for creating your new class. Let's look at each component of the class declaration more carefully. The program starts with some comments. It begins with a slash and then double asterisk, and ends with an asterisk and slash. Everything between these delimiters will be considered as comments and ignored by the compiler. This special form of writing comments is for creating a special kind of document called JavaDoc. If you look further down, you will see another comment in blue that starts with double slash. This is another way of writing comments. I'll come back to the topic of comments later when we discuss program documentations in more detail. After the comments, the next line starts with a keyword public and then the keyword class, followed by the name of the class that you are creating. Capital camel case is often used as naming convention for classes. The keyword public is an access identifier. In a car example, we have public class car to beginning the class definition. Java defines 4 levels of access identifiers. They are also called access modifiers. Only public and private will be covered in this course. The other 2 are protected and package private. For classes, methods, data, or fields declared as public, they are visible to any class in any package. So basically, they will be visible to the world. Packages are groups of related classes. We will come back to these later in the course. The private identifiers specifies that methods and data or fields declared in a class can only be accessed within the same class. Classes cannot be declared as private except for nested classes, but we don't need to pay attention to this in this course. The main body of a class definition is enclosed in a pair of curly braces. This part here is for the definition of instant variables. That is, these variables will be associated with a particular instance of an object in new class. In this example, a variable x with type int will be created when a new object in new class is formed, and the variable would be accessible only within new class because it is declared as private. We will see later that there could be other class variables or static variables that could also be declared here. This part of the program is for defining constructors. Constructors allow instances of objects to be created from the class template. Constructors are declared in a similar way as method declaration, but the name of the class is used as the name of the constructor. In this example, the class name new class is used as the name of the constructor. Constructors are used to initialize an object's properties or fields. It is invoked once and only once at the time of object creation by using the new operator, and it has no return type. I'll talk more about return types later. So here is the general syntax for declaring a constructor. It starts with public and then the name of the class followed by a list of parameters in parentheses, or an empty list if there's no parameter. So constructors can have no parameter, one or multiple parameters. Java can differentiate constructors with different numbers of parameters on the basis of the number of parameters in the list and their types. You cannot write two constructors that have the same number and types of parameters for the same class because Java would not be able to distinguish them apart. These are example constructors that you have seen before. This is the constructor for new class. The body of the constructor is enclosed by a pair of braces. This constructor has no parameters and it simply initializes an instant variable x to 0. The next example are the constructors that you have seen in the car program. Here, two constructors are declared for the same class. The first one with no parameters, and nothing is done by the constructor. The second one takes one parameter of type string and it changes the value of the instant variable owner to name as specified by the parameter.